Welcome to this webinar on ensuring food safety during product development. Let me introduce myself. My name is Harmeet Dosanjh. I'm the Director of Food Safety Training Department in Food and Ag Division. I have about 17 years of food industry experience. I have Masters in Food Safety from Michigan State, Certificate in International Food and Laws and Regulations, and I'm here excited to discuss how product development affects food safety. Before we get started, just a few logistic notes. Everyone will be in listen-only mode during this webinar. Please type your questions in the question box, and we will answer them during our Q&A portion at the conclusion of the webinar. This presentation will be recorded, and you will receive a link to the recording tomorrow. Who we are. SCS Global Services and Consulting Services. SCS is a certification body located in California's Bay Area with the satellite offices around the world and has been a leading organization in the movement of a safe and sustainable food system for over 38 years. SCS offers an extensive suite for food safety and sustainability services. SCS Global Services that we offer, our certification includes and our auditing services include GFSI benchmark certifications, includes Global Gap, SQF, BRCGS, and Primus GFS. And sustainability services include programs such as USDA, organic, sustainably grown, non-GMO product, and Fair Trade USA. In the SCS Global Services, we have training also. Our experienced trainers provide educations and knowledge based on the experience. All our trainings have been, trainers have credentials needed to provide each of the trainings presented here. So we have trainers who can do GFSI level classes, Global Gap, Primus, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC, FSMA classes, HACCP, GMPs, good distribution, crisis management. Trainings are delivered through different platforms, instructor-led, online, which is a self-paced, and in classroom as well. And then we have consulting services division as well. The services we offer in the consulting is our consulting organization. This is an independent entity capable of helping you with your food safety and sustainability questions, initiatives without creating conflict of interest on the SCS Global Certification side and verification side of the things. So if you're looking for the gap assessments, if you're looking into development of in your food safety management system, third-party internal audits, if you're looking to HACCP, foreign supply verification, label review, this is all done under SCS Consulting organization. In this webinar, we will discuss how understand the link between product development and food safety. We're going to talk about also what are the potential food safety risks in product development can happen, integrating food safety practices, collaboration between product development and food safety teams, and ensuring regulatory compliance and consumer confidence. So let's look into first is what is the definition of product development? In the product development in the context of food industry, we refer to systematic process of creating, refining, and bringing new food products to the market, which includes various stages and activities that contribute to the creation of innovation and safe food products. So let's look into some key components of product development. It starts with ideation. Ideation, this is the initial phase where ideas for new food product or improvement or existing ones are generated. This involves basically brainstorming sessions. You do market research, consumer trends, consumer insights, identifying emerging trends also, and on demands, for example, social media. So you determine your demographic characteristics of your target consumer, customers, age, gender, location, etc. So competitor analysis also can help analyzing their products, pricing, marketing strategies, strengths and weaknesses. In this step, it will also help you identifying gaps in the market also that your new product can fulfill. So consider food safety implications from start by thinking potential hazards and how to address them basically starts right here. Then feasibility studies, assessing your technical, financial, marketing feasibility for each product idea. R&D, create a prototype also or sample of new product. Then goes with the recipe formulation. Once an idea is basically selected, recipe formulation begins. This stage involves developing and refining your recipe for the new product or modifying an existing recipe to enhance its taste. It could be nutritional value or it could be other desired attributes. Sourcing of ingredients. In product development, careful consideration is given to sourcing high quality ingredients. This involves identifying your suppliers, evaluating their reliability and adherence to safety standards, and ensuring the consistency and traceability of your ingredient also used. Then in the manufacturing processes, developing your food products require determining the optimal manufacturing process, such as equipment selection, what processing techniques you might need, quality control measures, specifications, organoleptic properties, product consistency, acidity, allergens, temperature, recipe, standard operating procedures are considered to ensure efficiency and consistency. And also, we have to keep in mind food safety throughout the production. Then plant trials running the product in the manufacturing environment. You probably have heard, many of you are probably running the plant trials before you actually launch the product. So in that plant trials, what are the things that we need to keep in mind also? And the things that we need to keep in mind, is this the right product? Do we have the right equipment? Do we have the right techniques? What about the properties or organoleptic properties such as taste, shape of it, volume also, right? Color could be another one too. Is it burn? Is it under taste? Is it, all those profiles also plays a role. And the last is packaging. Packaging plays a crucial role in product development, as it's not only protects your food product, but it also communicates information to a consumer. Packaging, your design, your material, your labeling requirements, shelf life considerations are also addressed to ensure product safety, attractiveness, and regulatory compliance. So let's look into what is the importance of food safety in product development and its impact. Like I said, food safety in product development is gives the highest importance, as ensures the production of safe and high quality products, which includes set of your practices, your protocols, your standard aimed at preventing. First thing is foodborne illnesses, maintaining regulatory compliance, and safeguarding your brand reputation. So food safety is a fundamental aspect of your food industry that focuses on ensuring the products are safe for consumption. It also involves implementing measures and protocols to prevent illnesses, reducing your product recalls, and build the consumer trust. Let's look into the, again, key points to importance of food safety. Consumer health. Food safety directly impacts your consumer health and well-being. So by implementing a robust food safety measures such as proper handling, storage, cooking, hygiene practices, risk of your foodborne illnesses can be significantly reduced. So safe food product protects consumers from potential hazards such as microbial contamination, Salmonella, E. coli, chemical hazards, allergens, and physical contaminants. And physical contaminants could be glass, plastic, etc. So preventing foodborne illnesses is the primary objective of food safety, is to protect the consumers from your foodborne illnesses, reducing recalls. Inadequate food safety practices can lead to recalls, which will have a serious financial and reputational implications for your business as well. As you probably all know, product recalls are costly. They can result into significant financial losses, and as well as damage to your brand reputation and customer trust. So by prioritizing food safety, companies can reduce the risk of potential product recalls. Regulatory compliance. Both new and existing products can be aligned with the food safety regulations, such as, for example, FSMA, and the other standards are established by regulatory authorities to ensure the safety and quality of your products. So compliance with these regulations are essential to meet legal requirements and avoid penalties or legal consequences. So adhering to the regulatory standards throughout the product development process, it also demonstrates your commitment to consumer safety and regulatory compliance. Legal issues. Failure to comply with your food safety regulation can result into legal consequences of food businesses. Non-compliance can lead to fine, again, legal actions, and even closure of the business can happen too. Record keeping is must. Maintaining accurate and detailed records of all your process, including your hazard analysis, preventive control, supplier verification, sanitation procedure, and employee training is a must. Brand reputation. Food safety, like I said, is very closely tied to brand reputation. Company known for prioritizing maintaining high food safety standard gain consumer trust, loyalty. You get a positive brand perception also. On the other hand, food safety incident or product recall can severely damage your reputation, brand reputation, leading to, again, loss of consumer trust and negative publicity. Balancing innovation and the food safety. So while innovation and creativity are crucial for developing new products that meet customer demand, it is also equally important to consider food safety. When you're ensuring that creative ideas, product concepts are translated into safe and compliant food products. And again, we'll look into all more thorough, you can do risk assessments, implementing proper control measures, and ensuring that food safety protocols are basically being implemented and effectively working throughout the product development journey. So by integrating food safety practices into product development, companies can deliver innovative and safe food products not only to meet consumer expectation, but also regulatory requirements. So balancing innovation and creativity with food safety considerations are essential to build customer trust, protect public health, and maintaining a strong brand reputation in the competitive food industry. Let's take a look into some key components of integrating food safety into product development. From concept to market launch. As soon as the concept comes in, food safety considerations should be incorporated into product development process right from the concept phase. This means that food safety should be taken into account during your ideation, recipe formulation, ingredient sourcing, manufacturing process, and packaging design stages. So by integrating food safety from beginning, potential risks can be identified and addressed proactively, leading to a safer end product. Every time when I'm also training our clients, I always mention, if you are on a floor and you notice that production is running a trial and QA food safety have no idea, that's probably too late. Because ideally, R&D should involve QA, quality assurance, quality control, food safety departments right from the beginning, so you guys can assess your early risk identification, right? You can look into, okay, what potential risk we might have, and which includes your HACCP, your risk assessment, your hazard analysis, right? Thorough hazard analysis should be conducted, risk assessments, feasibility studies, potential hazards such as biological, chemical, physical hazards, and challenges can be identified and mitigated in a timely manner. This again will help you to prevent costly rework, recall, or any quality reasons to quality issues that may arise if food safety is addressed only after the product is developed, which is again probably more will be a reactive approach and not being proactive approach. And then you will be going back again and figuring out, okay, where did we miss? What were the gaps during our product development stages? That's why we call it proactive risk mitigation. So integrating your food safety right from the beginning, which will enable your proactive risk mitigation strategies. So involving the right food safety professional, or you can have experts also throughout the process. Potential hazard can be addressed through your appropriate control measures. This may include establishing your CCPs or critical control points, implementing preventive controls, setting your quality assurance protocols, and establishing standard operating procedures that prioritize food safety. GMP is another one, where ensure that both existing and new product adhere to GMP. This involves maintaining a clean and hygiene environment, proper maintenance, employee training, and use of appropriate manufacturing processes. Compliance with regulations. Considering food safety in the early development can also ensure compliance with relevant regulations and the standards. So different jurisdictions may have specific requirements regarding product food safety, labeling, packaging, especially if you're planning to export the product, then you need to be aware of the country that you're exporting, their regulations as well, their packaging, their labeling requirements. So by considering these requirements during product development, companies can save a lot of time, resources by avoiding costly modifications or recalls later on. Improved product quality. So integrating food safety into your product development not only just about meeting regulatory requirements, but it also contributes to improved quality. So by implementing your GMPs, quality control checks, prioritizing food safety, companies can develop products that meet or exceed consumer expectations for safety, taste, and overall quality. Training and education is another one. Providing training to your employees involved in the manufacturing and handling of new and existing products. So ensure they understand their roles in maintaining product safety, aware of regulations, and that can only be done by continuous training and education. Letting employees know, everybody, all these parties aware that why are we doing this, what is the new product coming up, and what are the policies, procedures that we need to follow to make sure there is no gap or there shouldn't be any issue in terms of product safety. So basically, food safety should be an integral part of your process right from the concept phase and continues throughout the stages until you market launch. Considering food safety early also helps in identifying addresses potential risks more effectively, leading to production of safe and high quality products. By integrating food safety into your product development, companies can ensure compliance, mitigation risk, and develop products that can meet consumer demands for both innovation and safety. Collaboration between product safety and food safety is very, very vital. Like I said, communication is the key here. I used to work in the manufacturing and R&D department will come up with the new concepts or the new recipes, new formulations, and they will include us, QA and food safety from the beginning of it. And then it starts again with the communication. What is the plan? How are we gonna do this? At what stages where food safety has to sign off some sort of documentations? We used to have a proper flow diagram where each team will follow. So I would recommend to create a flow diagram where basically at what stage, what parties, what departments will be involved, and food safety must be signing off on a crucial stages. By the time you're ready to launch, you basically check everything's ready to go, and that's why collaboration is very important. By fostering effective communication, cooperation between your teams, potential food safety risks can be identified, addressed at early stages. Effective communication and knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing is important because R&D have a lot more knowledge. They are the one who's coming up with the new product. They have a vision of what the product gonna look like, but they need to communicate with the other departments also. That way they can share their knowledge, they can benefit from food safety team expertise, insight, experience also in their risk assessment, hazard analysis, and control measures. And that's where, and then similarly, food safety professional might gain a lot of better understanding on the product development process, allowing them to provide targeted guidance and support. So cross-functional collaboration between product development and food safety is essential. Effective communication is very important, and also make sure that this collaboration actually leads to enhanced product quality, consumer safety, and again, regulatory compliance. Market launch and monitoring. Closely monitor feedback, closely monitor the sales, and even though after post-launch evaluation should be done also to measure the product success, safety performance, and you might want to, as a team, might want to address any emerging food safety issues as well. So communication is the key here right from the beginning. Product labeling and packaging. As you all know that undeclared allergens have been leading cause of FDA recalls. So this is very important stage also where you have clear and accurate information in terms of product labeling, which provides an opportunity to communicate important food safety information to consumer. It should include clear and accurate details such as ingredients, allergen information, nutritional content, and storage conditions. Clear label also helps consumer to make informed decisions and enables them to avoid potential allergens or handle product correctly to maintain safety. So allergen awareness is a must. Food allergies are significant concern for many consumers. So as a manufacturing, as an R&D food safety team, again, should sit together and figure out, okay, accurate allergen labeling, help an individual with the allergies, identifying product which may pose a risk to their health. So the proper allergen labeling instills confidence in the consumer, showing that company takes their safety seriously. Packaging integrity is another one where packaging plays a critical role in maintaining your safety and quality of your food product. So it should be designed to protect your product against contamination, preserve freshness, prevent tampering. So ensuring the integrity of your packaging material and using appropriate packaging techniques also contributes to a consumer safety, and of course, building that trust with your consumers. Third-party certifications and inspections are also essential in demonstrating compliance with your food safety requirements and building customer trust. So independent verification, if you like third-party audits, your customer might require third-party audits and inspections, provide independent verification of your company adherence to a food safety standard. Your certification body or CB auditors also assess company process, facilities, practices to ensure compliance with relevant regulations. So the independent verification adds credibility, right? Transparency, instilling confidence in your consumer that your company is maintaining high food safety standards. It also strengthens your reputation when you have certification, when you pass third-party audits. It also demonstrates a company's commitment to food safety and quality. These achievements can be highlighted in your marketing material, your packaging, promotional activities, reinforcing brand reputation for safety and reliability. Your consumer insurance, third-party certification and inspections also give consumers assurance that the food product they are purchasing meet stringent standards. Presence of recognizable certification logos on the product packaging build trust and reassure consumers that they have undergone rigorous scrutiny. Most of you probably are maybe certified with BRCGS, SQF, or the GFSI specific requirements related to R&D has been mentioned also. If you are third party certified, you will see the management commitment is a big one, where R&D activities must be under control of a designated senior manager who's responsible for ensuring compliance with safety and quality. Documentation is a must here, clear and comprehensive documentation of R&D processes, including your formulation, ingredient sourcing, product design is essential. Documents should be accessible, maintaining up to date. Risk assessment, R&D activities should include a risk assessment to identify hazards and ensure proper controls are in place to mitigate those risks. Supplier approval, any suppliers involved in R&D providing ingredients, material, services should be approved based on their ability to meet required food safety standard. Allergen management is another one. Allergen risk, if you have allergens in your product or in your manufacturing lines present in your plant or facility, allergen risk associated with the new product should also be thoroughly assessed and properly controlled to prevent cross-contamination. Good manufacturing practices, GMPs, R&D facilities should also adhere to GMP principle to ensure environment and processes support food safety. HACCP, hazard analysis critical control point. So the principles of hazard should be applied during your R&D to identify critical control points, implement appropriate controls. If it is a new product or you're changing an existing product, make sure that you again let food safety know, so they can go back and maybe they have to make some changes on their flow diagram. Maybe they have to reassess their whole hazard analysis and then see if existing controls work, or do we have to have additional controls because this new product, or maybe when we change existing product, it might trigger some other hazards. Traceability, R&D process should have a robust traceability system in place to identify the source of raw materials and track also product flow. Testing and validation, all new products, processes, and products developed during R&D should be tested, validated for product safety quality. Packaging and labeling, again, packing material and labeling for new products should be designed to ensure safety and integrity, and also make sure the information must be accurately included on the label, so your consumers can read the label. And if they are, let's say, in particular allergic, they can read the label and they can avoid having allergic reactions. Training is a must. Training plays a major role here. R&D staff should receive proper training on food safety principles and on their role for ensuring, and also, of course, employees on the other side, manufacturing side, needs to have a training also, especially when the R&D is planning to run the trials in the on the production floor. Make sure all the parties are aware, so by accident they don't release the product. So there should be hold and release SOPs, procedures in place to make sure that the product they are beginning from the production to the end of the test trial, that could be 8 hour, it could be 16 hour, changing different setting of the machines, environment might be changing. So make sure all those things are documented. Change control, formal process for managing changes to R&D process and product should also be established to prevent unintended consequences on food safety. So it is essential for your companies who are involved in R&D to understand and comply with the specific requirement outlined in the GFSI. Like I said, if you are SQF, BRCGS, any other GFSI certification you have, and if you have R&D, make sure that you do follow your specific requirements, because by doing so, you are also demonstrating your commitment to producing safe and high quality products to your consumers and your stakeholders. Let's look into one case scenario. Blissful Bite Bakery was known for its traditional pastries and cakes. Seeking to expand their product line, the bakery's R&D team decided to develop a new line of fruit-filled pies to attract health-conscious consumers. But unfortunately, the R&D team did not adequately consider food safety during the product development, leading to significant loss for the bakery. So let's look into some key events. What exactly happened in this scenario? What they did is the R&D created a new pie, and when the R&D team was working diligently to develop a variety of fruit-filled pies using fresh fruits, natural ingredients, they overlooked conducting comprehensive hazard analysis and risk assessment related to food safety. Or in other words, food safety department QA was not actively involved in this process. Lack of allergen control. So the new fruit-filled pies were prepared in the same production area as the other pastries without proper allergen control measure. So what happened as a result, cross-contamination of allergens occurred, including nut, dairy, gluten, and other baked goods. Inadequate shelf life testing. R&D team launched the new pie without conducting sufficient shelf life testing. So as a result, what happened? Pies had shorter shelf life than expected, leading to spoilage and wastage of unsold products. Foodborne illnesses incidents. So consumers who purchased these fruit-filled pies began reporting cases of food illnesses after consuming the product. The bakery received complaints of gastrointestinal issues, indicating that the pie might have been contaminated. That triggered regulatory investigation and the recall. So upon receiving multiple reports of foodborne illnesses, health authorities initiated an investigation. And in that investigation, it was revealed that pies were contaminated due to inadequate allergen control and poor shelf life. Bakery had to issue voluntary product recall, resulting into financial losses and damage to their reputation. Legal and financial consequences. The foodborne illnesses incident led to lawsuits from affected consumers, adding further financial strain on the bakery. So the legal fees and settlements further exacerbated their losses, leading to significant setback for the businesses, which basically damaged their brand reputation. News of foodborne illnesses outbreak, product recall spread quickly on the social media, as you probably know, and local news outlets. So the bakery reputation suffered a severe blow, causing a decline in their customer trust and decrease in the foot traffic to their stores. Now, cost of remediation. To address these issues, Sweet Delight Bakery had to invest in improving food safety practices, including segregating production areas for allergen control, conducting proper shelf life testing, and implementing a robust quality assurance measure. So these remediation further added their own financial burden. So basically, the conclusion of this scenario, what I was trying to demonstrate you guys, that significant risk and losses can result from not considering food safety during R&D. Neglecting to implement appropriate food safety measure can lead to foodborne illnesses, recall, legal liabilities, reputational damage. So prioritizing food safety in your product development process is crucial for success and sustainability of any food businesses. So I'll give you another example also. When I was in the QA side, on the food safety side, when R&D, I used to work with R&D and the production and the QA, basically liaison between all these three departments. Anytime R&D is coming up with the new ideas, I will be involved from the day one, have meetings with them, outline the whole process. And basically by the time we are trying to run their trials, I will be actively involved with their checking the quality control, quality assurance, food safety side of it. Make sure that right ingredients are there. If they're planning to pack, also right appropriate material are there. Make sure you have hold segregation also, so we don't miss by mistake. Nobody will ship the product. R&D was also used to do organoleptic check, where I was the expert panel, and I will test the product for basically taste, visual. If does that size look right? Does that, if the product is any kind of seasoning is there any seasoning correct? Is it too overly empowering? Any kind of spices if they're using, right? So overburn, underburn. So we'll do those little X amount of tests for X amount of days. Then the R&D will do shelf life testing also for a month, for 6 months to 1 year, to assess if there's any change in the chemical characteristics, any physical characteristics, any smell change, right? Any visually, does the product looks right or not? So we used to run, and then we will document everything. So what happens typically, that R&D and they create all this product, they are basically almost ready to launch, but yet there's no documentation in place. There's no really way to quantify things. Okay, what happened at what stage and who was involved? So my recommendation is to R&D and food safety, and then of course production also, because that department also plays a major role when there's the trust trials running over there. So make sure all the parties are on the same page. Communication is the key here. Like I said, if you're already running the trials and QA food safety absolutely just found out like, oh, something is going on in production, that's too late, because you guys were not involved, you had no idea. That could be that it might affect your flow diagram or hazard analysis drastically. So that's where communication is the key here. And by the time it was also after even the product is launched, it's very, very important to be involved actively with the sales marketing to figure out if the product was a success, what kind of feedback they're getting from the consumers. And obviously you probably have noticed too, at least after the launch, also 6 months to 1 year, you might go back and tweak it, because based on the consumer preferences, it's basically triggering you to go back and change some recipes. So in the conclusion, again, this webinar has emphasized the crucial role of food safety in your product development. We talk about integrating food safety from early stage of your product development, ensure production of your safe and high quality product. Key things to remember, that food safety is essential in preventing foodborne illnesses, reducing product recall, building your customer trust. When make sure you balance innovation, and balancing food safety is also crucial to meet your customer demands, your regulatory requirements. Early identification of risk and proactive risk mitigation is important, and it has to be collaborated between the right teams, which is product development, food safety team. Adhering to your regulation standards are also very important. To target your market or jurisdiction is important for legal compliance. Packaging, labeling and packaging is also playing a significant role in communicating your food safety information to consumer. Third-party certifications, audits, inspections demonstrate your consumer trust. And implementing all these strategies, your food companies can align both new and existing product with the requirement of FSMA, ensuring the safety and well-being of your consumers while demonstrating compliance with the law. And again, please do not forget, training and education is a must. Training and education plays a major role, because it affects a lot of other departments or a lot of other key individuals. So we encourage all the participants to integrate product safety consideration right from the beginning into product development process. By doing this, you can ensure production of your safe, innovative products that meet regulatory expectations while complying with your regulations. With that said, we are done and open to any questions you may have. A lot of companies, our participants asked, what about the small scale company? Does the small scale company should also follow the steps of R&D? And the answer is yes, they need to follow all the steps of R&D, even if they are small scale, because they may not have resources, but at least if they are well organized, communication is still there, documents are in place, they can still demonstrate their compliance to food safety while they're creating the new products or changing to the existing products. Other questions also come very often. What if we don't do R&D at our site, but maybe it's happening at the headquarters, or it might be happening some other locations, meaning not at your locations? So how do we have to keep records or the documentation or some sort of documents? And I always say yes. You always make sure that you still have to have policies in place, procedures in place, to make sure that even though it's conducted at head offices, you are involved. For the new product, how to determine which time and temperature is correct for taking care of pathogens? That all depends on what product you have, Mahesh. Sometimes you might be doing the validation studies. I was involved, Mahesh, in one of the new products, and because of this temperature and time, we did some validation studies also to make sure that what temperature, how much time we have to, let's say, cook, for example, to make sure there's no pathogen. And that's why in the shelf life studies also, our R&D department used to take a sample every month or every 3 months and send it to third-party lab to make sure that they can do basically, test on that and there's no pathogen growing. If it is a frozen product, for example, or if it is an ambient product, are there any pathogens coming back, meaning it's increasing because of the change in the environment. Can we get all this information? Ina, yes, we will have this recorded webinar available. Where to find risk assessment training sources for R&D team? You can actually do the risk assessment training. We have risk assessment training also, but I'm pretty sure any risk assessment training you take, they can basically, we can also show you how to do the risk assessment just for the R&D teams if you are interested in that. For the compliance of the food safety and FDA guideline and USDA, how off do they take product into? Luis, I didn't understand your question. For the compliance of food safety and FDA guidelines and USDA, how often are you saying they take product into inspection of jar product? I didn't get that. Water activity can be considered CCP, Miguel? Yes. If the product does, water activity plays a major role, yes, water activity could be a CCP. I have worked with the companies where they are using basically water activity as a CCP, because that could be a major thing for them. If water activity, if it is below 0.85, the pathogen doesn't grow, but if it is above, then yes. So yes. What do we know the ingredient we selected do not pose any pathogen issue in product we are developing? What do we know? Mahesh, I think the question is, how do we know the ingredient we selected do not pose a pathogen issue? And you do the risk assessment here from the supplier standpoint too. You need to look at who is your supplier, what kind of ingredients you are getting from your suppliers. And also, again, it all depends on what kind of product you are making, right? If it is a liquid, whether it's solid, what kind of, is there any water activity is a concern, or any other characteristics, chemical characteristics that might pose a risk. So you have to look into that. Some companies, pH plays a major role too. So they have to have a pH. How often for fresh corn tortilla, what is the ideal water activity for fresh corn tortilla? Miguel, I don't have that specific answer to that, but I can get answer on that. You can also send a third-party lab, maybe they can check your water activity for your fresh corn tortilla. Also, could we have this conference to share with our team? I think Stephanie, they will share that recorded session, Laura, to and you can share with your team as well. Can you recommend us a guideline or bibliography to reinforce these topics with our team? Laura, if you are actually, there's a two-part question. You can also look into FDA guidelines, okay? FDA law rules, or basically you can also look into, if you're GFSI certified, if you look at BRC, SQF, they also talk about R&D a lot. If you're looking specific guidelines, like I said, I showed you the GFSI ones. All GFSI talk about R&D portion on what to conduct, and they especially mention on shelf life. So unless you're looking at very specific, you guys can message maybe us, and then we can get into more details what kind of guidelines you're looking for. In your experience, were there situations where you submitted supply and ingredient for third-party testing to verify shared specification? Yes, Diana, we did that. We submitted some ingredients for third-party testing and make sure the specifications are correct, especially in the spices. Spices, I'm pretty sure you're probably aware, food fraud is a little bit higher on spices. Spice side, they don't meet specifications as often. So we used to send third party. We had on-site lab also, but for the more detailed testing, we used to third party to make sure that the product we are using actually is correct. Do you have specific document checklists which help from stage of initiation till product launching in terms of food safety? Mahesh, I don't have a specific document or checklist. Maybe later on today or tomorrow, I can send you what we used to have in our when I was working in the manufacturing. Maybe you can use that as a reference to kind of like create your own flow diagram or some sort of questions or specifications where all the teams are involved from the get-go from the beginning, and you can use that checklist. So yeah, we can share that, or I can create and I can share with you. Does product development needs to be concerned about food fraud? Vanessa, yes. This is again going back to your supplier verification and what kind of ingredients you're using, or the where you're buying from. So you should look into food fraud as well. That's all again risk assessment, right? That all includes in the risk assessment. Other question I have is, do you have specific document checklists which help from stage in terms of, no, I think there's another question I have. Are kill step validation studies necessary for retorted canned products? Stephanie, I probably need to know more details on that, what exactly, but depends on your process now, depends on your HACCP and hazard analysis. Do you have already kill step, or you're planning to have? I need to know more details on what exact products you're planning. Do you have an example of an audit trail? Miguel, audit trail? I'm not sure. If you're talking about the internal audit, or you're talking about the third-party audits? Because if you're planning to do internal audit, you can do an R&D also, and third-party audit. Okay, so if you're doing a third-party audit, Miguel, you depending on what GFSI standard scheme you're going to look for. Are you looking for SQF, BRCGS, or FSSC, for example, right? And then there always they have checklist already. Then you can use the checklist for your own use. If you're looking for a third party, then you can look for the certification body, such as SCS is a certification body. Then we can also do a internal audit for you, or if you're looking for a BRC or SQF audit, they can do that for you too. So you can use the checklist to use internally, specifically for R&D, and you can make sure that all the things are in place. So you have SQF fundamental. Okay. So Miguel, if you go on SQF website, they have the checklist, or maybe we can provide you the checklist also, and we can look into that. Okay, Stephanie, canned items that go through commercialized sterilization, is it necessary for kill step validation studies to determine log reduction? So, that's Stephanie, on the, if you're already gone through commercial sterilization, I'm pretty sure they have done some validation studies already there. There's no pathogen growing there, right? Through the can, if you have already cooked the product, and if you're canning, you have to make sure that there's no pathogen growing there. Otherwise, sometimes in the canning, it could be. Is it necessary to have a kill step validation studies to determine log reduction? Without log or validation studies, how will you prove it that there's no pathogen once you can the product? So you should have some sort of validation studies to show, or some studies done to show that there's no pathogen growing and your product is safe. Can we have this conference? Yes, again, we will share this presentation with you guys, and you guys can use that also. We will email you guys tomorrow the recording of the webinar. And in any case, if you do have more questions, feel free to email us, or we will, our Burnett, our sales rep, will also director of the sales will reach out to you guys, and we will be more than happy to help you with your questions you may have, or if in future if you're looking for any services in terms of consulting or as a certification body, or even if you guys want us to do a risk assessment for you guys, or any gap assessments for you guys, then we certainly can provide those services as well. The next question, do non-GMO certification help you to compile better with FDA guidelines? Non-GMO certification help you? Luis, I think our, like I said, Burnett will help you into that and the non-GMO certifications and basically all the guidelines that you might compile better. I think they will reach out to you and explain our non-GMO certification. Okay. So thank you again for taking this webinar. I hope you guys learned. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to email us. We will be able, most likely I will answer to your questions also, such as Mahesh, you asked for specific questions. So I will get you guys and or the flow diagrams or the checklist, and we can, again, we will more than happy to help you guys any questions you may have or in the future. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of the day, and yeah, thank you.